are sitting down with the best. It's 94 feet, nothing more, nothing less. Started from the bottom, now I made it past the steps. But you gotta have a vision like, what's your triple threat? 94 feet with Coach JT. 94 feet with Coach JT. 94 feet with Coach JT. 94 feet.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to another episode of 94 Feet with Coach JT. As always, man, leave a like in the comment section. Please subscribe to the pod on any platform, on Spotify, Apple Music, Google, whatever you can find it, man, or visit YouTube, man. Do me a favor again, leave comments, subscribe, share with others. Tap in, man, send some messages, man. Talk to me and I'm gonna talk back to you for real. Also, man, again, appreciate everybody for just tapping in, for listening to this long season 2, episode 54, I believe we're getting done right now. So again, man, I appreciate you guys for just tapping in. And again, like I said, man, it just goes, I know I can't see all the views like that as far as who you are, but it's greatly appreciated, man, as I keep this thing going and get ready to get off to a dope, busy summer. Secondly, though, man, if you want to, man, look below. If you want to donate to the pod, you can send something to the Cash App, Venmo, whatever it is. It goes back to the pod, man. Get new equipment, microphones, travel, all that stuff right now. As I try to go on the road this summer, man. Again, you can look down below right there. You can send some Venmo, Cash App, whatever. No limits too small, no limits too big, man. Appreciate you. Really appreciate that. Let's get to it, man. My guest tonight, man, Coach Larry of DUBb FITNESS. Coach Larry's a husband, a proud dad of 3 beautiful kids, a 15-year-old, 9, and an 8-year-old. Also the owner and a transformation coach at DUBb FITNESS out of Stockton, right down the way, man, right next to us in Sacramento, California, where he was born and raised. He's an athlete his whole life, spent over a decade competing in bodybuilding. At one point, he was ranked 4th in the nation as an amateur in his weight division. But honestly, he said he was never obsessed with fitness. The turning point in his life came after he got a DUI in 2005 and 2006. That moment rocked him. He said he was depressed, ashamed, embarrassed, and he knew he had to make a change. He walked away from partying, gave his life to God. And in 2007, he found healing through exercise. That became his outlet, and he's never looked back since then. Today, he helps busy adults over 35 look, feel, and perform at their best in just 30 days. Got to tap in. Training only 3 times a week, even better. No endless hours in the gym, no crazy restriction diet. His mission is to help people win back control of their health, build strength inside out, and live life fully, man. Let me get him to the stage, man. Mr. Larry Williams, man. Appreciate you, Larry, for tapping in.
Man, Coach. Again, man, I'm really grateful, man, for me to be on this podcast, man. I'm excited, hopefully to provide some value to your followers, listeners. All right, and now, the DUBb FITNESS is located in Lodi. All right,
Lodi, okay.
That's my fault. Yeah, born and raised in Stockton, but my DUBb FITNESS facility is located in Lodi.
Still close, man. Right down the road from me and Sac, man. We spoke for y'all on the air right now. June is still Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, so it was like, oh yeah, fitness. Ran Larry, his daughter, has a game, watched him play, man. He came through, hollered at me, man, and just showed some love, and I had to show it back, man. Off top, I think that's what it's definitely about, because the support is needed no matter who we are, especially being men in this world, in this environment we're in now, but also knowing that health and wealth is our wealth, right? Is something that we take care of, need to manage. But as we know, things can play factors in the stress, those stuff like that can shorten, make, we get sick, things like that. So I'm like, oh yeah, I looked on his page, saw some content. So I had the Bible in front of him. I'm like, he's doing the fitness thing. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta tap in with the guy, man, and hopefully he can shed some light on some stuff for us, man. But again, thank you. I appreciate you, man, making this happen so quick. Well, man, like I said, man, you like neighbor almost. Let's just get into a little bit about growing up in Stockton, man. Because they just had a big event. I think Jason Lee had the Wilding Out there a few weeks ago.
And this is how it's a small world, because Jason Lee was my liaison when I was going to high school at Stagg High School. So of course, Jason was nowhere where he is today, when I was going to high school at Stagg High School, where he was roaming around the hallways of Stagg, making sure cats weren't getting in trouble and things like that. But it just shows, just anywhere, man, when you put your mind to something, man, and you put yourself in different type of environments that's gonna, help you elevate and grow, there's always possibilities, man. I think sometimes, especially us, just the Black community sometimes, man, where is that I feel we play a lot of that victim role, right? We use our circumstances to keep us from, you know, getting where we want to go, right? And that's why, very few, do make it out, because sometimes we just get stuck in that old mindset and don't think that, it can happen for us, right? And I think that once you surround yourself again around, like-minded people, and just, sometimes it has to take, though, Coach JT, to get yourself out of your environment and get into a different environment for you to be able to see. So that way, that when you take care of yourself and you're good where you're at, then you're able to come back, you know what I'm saying? And take care of others. Sometimes it takes you have to leave the village to go take care of you, for you to be able to come back and take care of them.
Yeah, man. And also, like I got a chance to meet him last year at the Ben Crump event in LA, just random. I said, "Hey, man, I'm from South." He kind of looked over and he was like, and he kind of came over and did a quick little interview. And I was like, "Man," I said, he was ready to run for office. I said, "Bro, if you need support, if I can support you anyway, or I come down, I would love to." But also, I mean, I know his platform is enormous. So I know his schedule is busy. But I said, "But you like neighbors, bro." I'm like, "You're doing stuff in Stockton that people probably never thought could happen or occur, but you're doing it wholeheartedly. But that's your city." And I was like, "Man, I feel the same way about my city, and we right down the road." But he was still generally authentic. He didn't big boy, nothing like that. Just, "Hey, man, yep, let's do this interview, man. I definitely got to give you this interview." I was like, "Oh, I appreciate that, man." You know what I'm saying? I'm still new to the game, but still building content. But he was like, "I appreciate that time he took, because again, sometimes you can get somewhere with you." And I was in LA too, so I could go, bro. So what I mean, all that stuff. But he showed time. So shout out to him, man, for giving back to his city, man, and trying to leave his imprint. I think that's super dope. No matter what status personally in the world, Stockton is his home, man. And he's representing super dope, super well. So, man. So let's get in a little bit though before we get into the sports stuff, everything though, man. Just I do want to get context again. Just your growing up in Stockton. What was that like for you? What was you into as a young man? Was you always sports fitness? What were you doing during that time? Because again, we were outside kids. I already, what I'm saying, I think we're on the same age.
Same here, man. I grew up in a family where that a lot of my family were athletes, pro athletes. When it came to football and track, I had uncles and cousins, man, that played in the NFL, and things like that. So I grew up where I had a lot of high elite athletes in my family, and then that just ran in my blood. But luckily that it didn't carry me far, but the tools that I learned in sports though, man, I feel has helped me to become the man that I am today, and where that of course teaching me discipline, teach me persistence and grit, what I'm saying? And I feel and that's one of the things I'm trying to teach into my kids, and is how what sports can do, and how that it can really translate what you do in life.
That's definitely dope, man. And I think just being able to get to that point too, man. So it helps having the role models, having our people around, also people putting you in that light too. But also, I think it helps to really see your peers, though, man. Like if you get to the point where you say you have to be around like-minded people, because especially as male, we don't see all the positive light all the time from other guys that look like us or situations, or we don't see it till later on, right? I mean, we go through those adolescent ages or teenage, like we looking at the wrong thing, trying to be the wrong thing,
right?
That's what gets us in the wrong thing, wrong situations,
right?
How was was there anybody influential in your life, like really somebody that may say you like, okay, this person really was right there with me, lock and key, or make sure pushing me? Anybody really influential you may like, okay, this person's always going to be, always in, I say in debt, like in my favor for that, because they kept me in this type of area, area of my life where I need to be?
Yeah, I honestly, I can name it quite a few, and of course, my mom, my dad, like I said, my uncles and cousins. Oh man, is where is that everybody played a part in my life to get where I need to get to. So for me, it's like I don't have a favorite, because they all played an important part to shape me with like what I am today. Like my dad is not like my mom. My mom is more like the go-getter, what I'm saying? And my dad, he's like the slow grinder, like say the hustler, which is all say great tangibles, and tools. Then I have, like I said, uncles and cousins where they're elite athletes, so their mindset is different on how to perform at a high level, like the standard of what's expected, and being able to be around that and have that sprinkled, in my life. I had a, piece of like a little bit of everything on how to be able to move in life.
That's what's up, man. Just as far as going through growing up out there in the and again, even Sacramento, man, every place, city has its own hood, ghetto. Was it hard for you to separate from temptation of going down that route, even in Stockton, certain times, or was it something you knew, like, nah, I ain't messing with that, that's not me?
I actually know, man. I can honestly say, like, I didn't grow up in the ghetto, what I'm saying, in Stockton. But of course, I had a lot of family, and cousins, that, grew up on Nightingale, 9th Street, 8th Street, Conway, like, and I was always around that, growing up. And at that time, like, I didn't look at that like it was the hood, what I mean? It was just where it's like, that was just where the family were. And of course, the times back then in the late 80s and early 90s is definitely not like what it is, today. It was just like, man, I'm going to Pookie House, what I'm saying, out there on the south. So it was just where it was like at those times, like you said, we were like outside kids, man. So it was like fun, being able to go, to the park without having really to worry about anything, but for me, like, I didn't grow up in the hood though, man. But I just feel that, everybody has their, their different parts, but it's what makes you, what I'm saying? And it's where, like, you can use it as a negative, or you can spin it and use it, as a positive, the situation, the circumstances that you may be in. So you can either spin it where you use it as a negative, or that, like I said, you can use it as a positive.
Yes, sir. That's what's up for sure. And but that's super big. I mean, because it happens, right? That's the world we live in. That's our environments. But it's whole, it's that decision making. One wrong left, they say wrong right turn, or choosing not to go with somebody, or choosing to go with somebody can make, I mean, it can really make it that your life either a little bit better or a little bit difficult based on your decision making. So
yeah,
definitely what's up. At what point, man, did you really get into your fitness interest? Not even say major journey, but when did you start like looking into it, like, oh, this is something I probably potentially could do, man? Because I
that's
mean,
it.
of
Yeah,
course, I
no,
used
that's
to
it. That's
too,
it.
but
That's
I
it.
was
That's
like,
it.
these dudes are crazy. Like these dudes, I was like, it was
Yeah.
entertaining somewhat, but I was like, no, what I'm saying, I'm young, athletic too, not in the bodybuilding like that, but working out for sure. But then as I got older, I was like, these dudes this is a real
No,
thing.
right. Yeah, yeah. It came around, I would say, probably like in 2005, where me having interest, just just looking at the bodybuilding magazines, not where that I wanted to compete or anything, like that. Where I got into it is, again, how where sometimes, and this is how, it's crazy how just life works, but everything happens for a reason. And I probably wouldn't be in a position what I am today if that event of me getting a DUI, luckily that nobody was on the road at the time when it happened. But everything, that was like the turning point for me. I didn't understand it, at that time. And again, it had me depressed getting the DUI back in 2005, 2006. And that really changed me, man. And I had to reevaluate who I had in my circle. And again, having to change my environment, because like I knew that if I continue down this road, it's not going to look pretty, man. And so so I had to just really just change everything and make a decision to where, what, like I said, I gave myself to God, man, to where that start getting into the church and start really trying to see what type of purpose do I really have on this earth, man. And it really came down to, what, I'm gonna start exercising. I'm gonna start getting in equipment here, at the gym. I'm gonna work out, or, at the house. So I started buying equipment for the house and working out there. And I saw how that it made me feel. Then it led me to getting the membership, at a gym. Then once I got a membership at the gym, it just like really just took off. Now, just like with anybody else, like my goal when I got into working out was really, of course, is wanting to get like 6-pack abs. But as months went by, though, Coach JT, I start to realize how much better I was starting to feel. Not worrying about the outside appearance, on how that I was able to manage my depression, which I really didn't know it was really depression at the time. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes in coming from a black household, and I'm pretty sure that you can relate to this. These are things you can't just have a conversation with your parents. I couldn't share to my parents. And at this time, I'm in like my early 20s. I couldn't share to my parents how I was feeling, because it's where that now, if I would have went to them on telling them how I felt, it probably would have crushed me anymore, because it would have crushed me more, because I know that it would have told me that, stop being weak. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you.
Right.
Oh, you're fine. You're good. You know what I'm saying? And it's where and I think that, that's hard with you talking about how it is, how this month is, mental, health month for men. And I think it's hard for us Black men to be able to express, how we really feel. Because of course I understand, like, we are held at a high standard, right? And where that, we have to wear all the hats and we have to provide and things like that. But there are times where that we do need an outlet sometimes. Not all the time that we have it together, man. And I feel like the more time, and I know that social media might put a spin on it, saying that it's not okay for men to be able to express their feelings. They need to man up and things like that. But the thing is that the more that you hold on to your feelings and not share, not share it and let it out, what's going to happen is that you carry so much. Yep, you carry so much resentment, man, and then it becomes turmoil.
Yeah, and I would definitely. I've been through certain, whatever I would say, issue with certain time frames of that myself, where it's because even if it's not turmoil, it may cause inner harm to yourself, right? You're not
right, and I was probably the wrong way for me to use.
That's fine. It's both. It can be. It's different phase though. For me, I was up late sometimes. I try to go to bed at 10, 11, but I wake up at 2, 3 in the morning. I'm like, why am I? I'm like, why am I up? But then worried about something else. I'm the warrior type people. Like, oh, I didn't please this person. I want to. Why are they mad at me? Instead of like, you know what? I'm doing the best of my ability at this. So if they can't like me for what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do with a bigger goal, I need to accept that for myself. But they don't accept it. That's fine. As long as I know where I'm doing, how I stand, I should better sleep at night and be comfortable. I gave my best effort. And it just took practices and I went to therapy myself and other people, resource groups. And again, trying to be around like-minded people, or just ask people I know, man, how'd you deal with this? Or have you ever dealt with this? What do you suggest? Because it's unhealthy. Right. Let's keep it real, man. For us, even as Black men, we're already dying at a crazy rate from other stuff as well. So to add stress and also a lot of time, like, nah, man, like we gotta make that the priority.
Yeah.
Regardless of how it is, the outlet, if it's the gym, if it's swimming, make sure you have a fellas kickback once a month, once a week, or tapping with your fellas, or different activities where you can't let that go, because definitely true, man. It will internally, and if you don't show your body that love or that whatever, it'll tell you in the wrong way. It'll shut down or to give you, and that's not, we don't need none of that going on, man. So.
Yeah, and with you just saying that, and that brings back to the question you had asked me, like, how do I get into it, and just how I made exercising a priority on how that it made me feel, not only physically, mentally, but emotionally, into where that now I'm in this new environment where I feel accepted. And like, man, I'm on the same level, or with these other guys that's in the gym that that are disciplined, and like they're doing X, Y, and Z at a certain time. And it's just like being around that type of environment has just exposed me to what's possible, and the more I start getting to the gym and seeing like the same people and, at the same time, and how I was able to progress from month to month to month. Next thing I know, a year goes by, and being around like these like-minded people, it was just presented like, hey, man, have you ever thought about wanting to compete on stage? Like, man, like since you've been in the gym for a year consistently, man, your physique and body has changed so much where, man, you look like that you can step on stage. And of course, at that time, this is where that I had a poor mindset, because it's where it's like I looked at like, man, you will never catch me in a thong on stage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm already shooting it down and not even giving it a chance. Right. But I say, you know what? I'm gonna challenge myself. Let me go ahead and do something like I never done. Like, what if it goes good? What if it goes good? And you know what? My first show, I took first place in my first show, and I've never took first place in anything in my life, not even in sports and track, nothing. I knew then when I took first place, I knew that was it. That was like that, and that was the real turning point, because then now I knew what it take to perform at a high level. Now, I think with me, people don't understand the trade-offs and the sacrifices you do have to make when it comes to competing, in bodybuilding. And that's what it taught me, man. It taught me how to be disciplined. It taught me to be consistent. It taught me the power to say no to things that didn't align, with my goal. I mean, just like any athlete, right? When you know that season is coming up, like you're locked in for an X amount of time. That's how bodybuilding is. When you know that you have a show coming up, man, you're locked in for 6, 8, 12, 10, 12 weeks, or whatever that is leading up to the show. So that means, man, no distractions, no nothing. Like you just like tunnel vision, locked in. And me competing in my show in 2008, that's where it really took off. But now it took a few years for me to finally realize, and let me know if I'm fast forwarding too much though, Coach J.
It's on you.
Where that it took me a while to find what my gift and purpose was. So it wasn't where that I came in thinking like I was gonna be, this transformation coach. It was just me, asking God, like, man, like what's my purpose here? Like I know I have a gift of helping people, but what is that?
Look, hey, I would say, bro, and again, I've been in that phase of my life for I would say a couple of years now, like really knowing it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling, but I know as men, and it's real. It takes us longer to get to that spot if you're searching for it, right? Some people get there. If you're blessed to get there early, man, more praise to you. Great job. But I mean, once you find like I can walk in this is me. It's why it's like we can move better. We move confident. We rest better, but also again, and it's not everybody's not to help others, but people who are, you're a special person, right? Because you're giving yourself, you're taking away from your family time, you're doing something else, but also I was posted actually yesterday, man. Graduation was yesterday. 9 seniors in my place. I graduated, and a couple of my after school program students. That's the win. Yeah, I want to win more games on the court, all that stuff like that. Man, to see them all 9 of my seniors walk across the stage, all of them graduated, got to the pump.
What makes it more of a win, Coach JT, is you showing up, being there.
Oh, I was like, and I can't miss. I feel like if I miss something like that, I'm like, nah, man. But I mean, now, as we know, right? Some people all don't appreciate it, but for me, I was like, no, I have to be there. But then I made a point too. Like, now I'm gonna go see each one of y'all, take a picture of each one of y'all.
Yeah,
just for me. I don't need nothing else. But that memory right there to see y'all fresh to death. Whatever, it's
right.
graduation.
And that's the type of impact that's gonna last forever. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's you coming down, where you're serving, man, where that now you're separating. Is not where it's not just about the wins. You know what I'm saying? Like you're really making an impact by showing up for them in their lives, man, that they'll never erase, and knowing like, dang, Coach JT was always there for me. Like, man, like he showed up when nobody else showed, man. And my own family couldn't even show up, but Coach JT was right there, right there rocking with me.
And that's what I know that's, and through coaching, everybody has their own reasons for winning or to get their business. But I mean, I've learned that early, but my coaches were there early for me as well. So I was like, it's only right. And yeah, it's not going to be a smooth road for everybody, every player, but it's like I can say the majority of the players I've come across, they left an impact on me, but I've left an impact on them positively, right? Or help them through something or adversity, or help them navigate some type of space, or give them some type of knowledge, or let's get in the gym extra. Let's go get some extra shots up. Let's put through this to get you to where you want to get to, man. I think, I know, like, that's just, it's a great feeling. Can't deny it. More better than money. It's better internally. So I'm like, man, hey, this is what it is. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? This is my why too. This is my purpose. And I'm like, I'm gonna stay in that and try to, again, you said, keep touching, keep blessing, keep communicating, because it's just, if you find that space, man, it's like, hey, you got it. And also it may come a little extra, a little, not burden, but it come a little extra weight on it. But it's like, but that's always not a bad thing. No. Because everybody can't do what you do or do what I do and do it effectively.
Right. And with you touching that, and that's why for me, my opinion is that's why there is no competition, because there is, I can't be like Coach JT. It can't nobody be like me, because me and you are our own unique, person. We bring something different, creative, saying, to the table. And that's why there is no competition, out there. That's just, my opinion. And I think that when we look outside the box and not look at that as competition, I feel that we're able, especially as Black men, that we can come together, and I can still root for you. You know what? Yeah, you may be doing the same thing I'm doing, but you know what? Like it shouldn't be a competition where like, man, you doing this over there, you doing the same thing I'm doing. You know what? I'm not gonna rock with you. Like, nah, like it should be
something different. It may be said different, it may be taught different, but it's a different learning. So it's not the competition. It's just your approach is different than mine, or your style is different. So somebody else can learn that. It's a different style of way. And against that ego too got to be pushed to the side, right? That's one thing we battle with as the men. Push that to the side. And that's one thing I definitely try to do. I'm like, man, we're better, stronger together.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, buts about it, because it's some things I know you can't. Or coach, I can't tell a kid how to live a certain way. Coach, I'm like, I call Coach Larry. I can't get out there and show them all the stuff, you know what I'm saying, as far as how to live properly, certain things. I know somebody though. I got a resource, and here you go. Go to him out that way. Hey, I know training low light, go tap in. I don't want you to come to Sacramento if you live out there and come work out. Just no, like that's selflessness, right?
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to, man, is being able to be resourceful, to be able to network, and again, to where that's something you may not have, but you may know somebody else. Like, hey, you know what, man, I know this brother over here. That I'm real good people's with. And I'm gonna be honest with you, where that I can't help you in this area, but I know he can. He's the right people. And again, saying then like you said, then everybody just pays it forward. Saying then we all eat. You know what I'm saying? We all eat. It's enough for all of us here. Again, if we're able to come and come together, man, we all could be able to win, man. And when we're all together and all on one accord, man, and we're unstoppable.
Yeah, definitely dope. Fire. Drop us some gems, bro. The shift. Talked in the intro. DUI happens.
Yeah.
How do you? One, just the internal feeling of that, because we know some. I mean, like I talked about before, it's already was blessed enough not to injure nobody, yourself, that incident. But then to come out and say, okay, I'm going to do something a little bit different, or what type of effect did it have on you overall, when on that incident, or when it happened, or after? How did that just overall just affect you internally and physically, mentally?
Is this how I want my life to continue, to where that I'm living in a 2-story house, living the bachelor life, couldn't tell me nothing, working 2 jobs, come and go as I please,
Getting to the money,
get into the money,
he gets a little bread.
get into the money. But is this how I want my life to live? Then it really had me thinking, is this what my identity is? Is that, am I trying to fit, you know what I'm saying, into a crowd just to be seen, right? And I think with why I had to make that shift, because people didn't know I had a DUI. None of my close friends. Only had one person that was with me on the night that I got the DUI, and was my cousin. And one of my close friends, I did reach out to let them know, because the night that I was supposed to go meet up with them is when I got pulled over. But when the people that I was hanging around with weren't there when I needed help, right? And again, they didn't know. It was just something simple as, hey man, you think you can drop me off to so and so? Man, I'll hook you up with some gas money. And responses I would get, JT was like, oh man, like, man, you stay all the way over on the north side, man. I'm all the way out here on the west side of Stockton, man. That's gonna be a drive. And hearing those words, to where that going out, I didn't ask none of my friends for a dime for gas money. Driving out to the Bay, going out to Sac, going out to out to Roseville, Citrus Heights, and doing everywhere, like you name it, Ghost Riding, scraping, like all that. Like I was the driver. It's like, man, you trying to roll? Let's go. But then when it came down on JT, where that I needed help, like that's when I felt alone. Like, is this like are these my friends that I thought they were? That was the turning point right there. Like, okay, you know what? Then that showed me, like, I can't rely on people, and that's where I had to go into a deep dive on, like, okay, what's next in life now? Now you see, now you're being exposed to see, like, who's there and who's not. Now, what are you gonna do next? And it came to a point where I had to stop crying me a river, and finally had to figure some stuff out. This is where now I had to really put my big boy pants on and make life decisions, like you talking about in the beginning about making decisions. So I had to make a decision. Do I want to continue to go back to the life where that, people always see me at the club and know who I am? I'm the high energetic guy. That's me, that get everything crunk and hyphy and all that. Or do I want to become a different person and kind of leave that lifestyle behind? Because that lifestyle it was leading down to a road that I didn't want to go to. So it was either, I really feel that it would have been death, at a young age, or finally making the smarter choice and be able to live out my life. And again, just like you said, right, it took time. It's something that didn't happen overnight, and that's why it's just crazy how the world works, right? And it's where it's
Yeah.
that,
Right.
and I don't know why sometimes that it takes us where we feel like we hit rock bottom,
Mhm.
to finally like to give ourselves up. And again, that's where I had to give myself up to God. And it's like, okay, like, look, all right, you spared me. Okay, like now, like I need guidance. I don't
Yeah.
know where I'm going right now. I need guidance. I don't know where I'm going, but I know that I'm gonna put my trust and faith in you to be able to get there. I don't know where that road is going, but you know what? I'm gonna put my trust and faith in you. And again, and it's what I know now. I wish I would have known then, but I feel like again, everything happens for a reason, Coach JT. And I think that was a turning point where that had to happen in my life for me to find for me to finally wake up, because how reckless I was. That right there would stop me from from where that, like I said, it could have got worse. So everything happens for a reason.
Mhm.
I don't know why it happened to me that night out of
Mhm.
all out of all people,
Right.
but it happened for a reason. And
Yeah.
I feel like that is what made me to become the man that I am today of that situation, right? And it's where it's how we react and respond to
Mhm.
situations. There's no telling what my life will be right now if that night didn't happen.
Of course, for sure.
I wouldn't be here talking to you right now, because I wouldn't have known if that would have shaped me to become a bodybuilder.
Right.
I don't know if that would have shaped me to become, the transformation coach that I am today, or even owning my own business. I honestly probably will still be working at those two jobs right now.
Mhm.
And I feel that was the turning point, is having to make those tough decisions on how I want my life to go going forward.
Yeah, man. Definitely can relate. Maybe different examples, but definitely can relate too, man, for sure. Um, CEO, man, like having your own business. I mean, as we know, we're in an age right now which entrepreneurship is big, but also I think finally for us as men, though, we're seeing that we can do something outside of the blue collar entrepreneurship too to still be
Yeah.
successful. Um, the transition or the leap, not the yeah leap or a step to that. What was that like? Because I mean, again, I was like, man, I'm gonna start getting my pot of LLC. I'm like waiting to not do it. Have you did it yet? Nah, not. I went here. Okay, let me go ahead and apply a file, whatever like that. What was that big step like? Because again, sometimes it can be scary. It can be like not supportive, or like, no, I'm new. I'm gonna do this now. What was that like getting your own business going?
Yeah, and it was definitely scary, man. And my story is not like, like everybody else's, to where like I had it planned out. I didn't have it planned out, man. But I knew that I had a goal to where that one day I wanted to open up my own business.
Mhm.
And again, for me, it's where that if I feel there's an opportunity that is presented to me,
Mhm.
I'm gonna take it. Where that I'll figure out the rest later.
Okay.
And it got to a point where that I was leaning more into wanting to take it seriously as a trainer while still working two jobs. So and that's why I can relate to so many people when it comes where people are being introduced into the exercise world, and is where that I know what it's like being able to work 16 hours every day and doing a side shift. Like I did all that, man. I did all that for like almost like 17, 18 plus years,
Mm.
and still be able to train on the side. So I know what it's like, man, to be able to grind and not get sleep. Man, it really got to a point where that when my wife, well, we were having our third child, it was me having to make a decision where
Mhm.
that, okay, I need to find a way to be home more, because I'm gone Monday through Friday. Like I wouldn't see my kids, man, until the weekend. It's the fact that I wake up to go to work, they're asleep, and I
Mhm.
get home from work, they sleep. So it was me having to make a decision. Okay, something has to give.
Mhm.
So it got to a point where that I had left one of my jobs, and where that I put more focus in the training, and I still have my primary job. I mean, I was able to put more focus where I was able to have just a little more time, at home. Still wasn't enough, but it really got to a point where that, what, I just wasn't happy
Mhm.
at my primary job, knowing like, I had a 401k, I had benefits,
Mhm.
and things like that. So I was, I guess you could say that I was secured,
Right.
and but nothing didn't bring me great joy, is like just like you, to where that you see the impact that you're able and make in someone's life that you were able to change their life for the better, and being able to show them what they're capable of, to show them like what they're worth, to show them like, man, like you really have more to give, and you just need someone to be able to pull that out of you and be able to get that feeling where like, man, like they're coming back and telling you thank you for you saving like their life. I'm just like, man, I'm like, I was just guiding you, but like, no, like you really turned my life around. And like getting, and it's not to say I needed confirmation, but like, man, just to hear like those feedbacks, those testimonials, man, on how like I was really making impact in people's lives. I knew
Battery pack we need, bro. That's we need the little charge we need, though. Everybody need that little charge in their back.
no,
Man.
you're right. And I just, and I feel that's what gave me that charge to be like, you know what?
That's it.
That was it. You know, it was it. And I kid you not, I still remember to this day. And it's where like we opened up our business in 2020, and a month right before COVID happened. But leading up to that, where I started, like I literally had my vision board where that I had to go. I still have it written down in one of my books somewhere here, where when I was presented of being able to open up a business, I literally had it where that I wasn't going to open it until like really like this year in 2025. And then again, this is back in 2019, right? And during that time, I had built great relationships with with clients, and how they were referring me and being resourceful and things like that. And at the time, I was printing out t-shirts and had a connection, with a t-shirt company. So I come in one day to pick up my apparel, and he was like, "Hey, I've been hearing a lot of great things about you. And I heard that that you train." I was like, "Oh yeah, I train down the street over here at this gym." And he was like, "You know what? I have a building that I have available. I was thinking about turning it into a gym." He said, "I don't know why that came in my mind, but I was thinking about doing that. I need somebody to be able to run it. You think that would be something that you'd be interested in?" I came home. I said, "Well, yeah, give me about 24 hours, man. Let me go home. I'm talking to my wife."
Yeah.
I said, "Babe," I said, "Man, we got an opportunity to be able to like have like our own spot."
Yeah.
And it took a minute for it to sit. I said, "You know what? Probably within like 48, 72 hours." I was like, I'm in. I just took that leap of faith because I knew what I was bringing to the table. I just needed people to see it.
That's fire too, but also like, and we talk about timing, right? So, example to date, right? If you never come to the gym, I see your daughter, and you just say, "I appreciate you, Coach JT." I'm like, damn, I don't go grab the shirt to give to you to show appreciation, and we're not doing this. So you don't go back get your merch. They come back to merch, right? I go pick up my merch. He's like, "Man, this dude, I've been listening, I've been hearing about him. Let me ask his brother, man." That's definitely fire, man. That's crucial.
Yeah, and I think too, like you said, and to like my message to people out there is where sometimes that we're hesitating, and we're sitting on these dreams because we're worried about if we fail, right? And I didn't have a plan B. It was just where it's like it has to work or it has to work, and that was my mindset. Like it has to work or it has to work. And I think a lot of times we hesitate too much in trying to find like the perfect time. And again, everybody's journey is different. I'm not saying that your journey has to be like mine, where you go and just take that leap without thinking about it. I didn't think about it. I just it was presented to me. I took charge of it, and I just figured the rest out later. I didn't have no experience in business. I didn't have no experience in sales. I didn't have no experience in none of those things. These are things I had to continue to learn, every day that I was in business. So I had to learn on the fly, and to be able to understand on how to be able to, how to maintain and be able to operate a business. Then of course coming along customer service and all those things.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times we're trying to wait for the perfect time, and there's never a perfect time, So sometimes you got to just jump on it when the opportunity presents itself.
That's definitely dope, man. Shout out to you, man. Congratulations on this, on the leap, the journey, the continued success too, man. It's definitely a dope thing to happen, and for yourself and for your family, and walking in your path, bro. Like real talk, man. And to be in that journey, so help supporting others and getting things going, man. Got to shout out wherever I can find information at, man, and where your gym is located, man. Let them know, man, where they can find you if they want to come get a workout in, via in person or online, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram at Larry DUBb Fitness. No, sorry, Mr. DUBb Fitness is my personal Instagram account. You can definitely find the gym also on Instagram, which is DUBb Fitness Lodi. I'm not sure you're able to see it in the hat. Yeah, so it's DUBb Fitness Lodi. Now you can find us on Instagram and also on Facebook, TikTok. So you can find us there. Yeah, but I just wanted to leave your listeners and your followers to this. Is like if they're dads and men out there, we have to step up to the plate. We have to step up to the plate where we have to start making our health a priority, because if you have kids, they're watching. And I get it, where that, again, like I said, you're wearing all the hats, you're providing, you're doing all these things, but yet is where that you're letting your health deteriorate. You talk about how that you want to die for your kids, talk about how that you want to live for your kids. And I can only speak for me. And it's where is that when your kids see you like this weapon of armor of how much that you take care of yourself, then how you take care of yourself, you could teach them those habits to be able to take care of themselves too. Now, I'm not saying that, again, that it's not about having six-pack abs. It's not about trying to have the bodybuilding look. It's nothing about that. It's really about how are you able to take care of yourself, physically. We're spending too much time where we're scrolling on the phone. We're spending too much time where we're binge watching and doing all these things, but yet we're not making a point to be able to take care of our health, so that way that we don't become a liability, but more we become an asset. And that's where a lot of men right now is heading, where they're becoming liabilities and not an asset, because of them not taking, priority of their health. And I get it. You may feel like you don't have the time. We all, everybody has, we have the 24 hours. Of course, everybody's 24 hours is different, but what's important to you? What's important to you? Because you can't say that you want your kid to go do X, Y, and Z in this sport, but yet you're not living it. That's why my kids listen to me. They see me where that I get up in the morning to go do what I need to do, and being able to provide that back to them. I can't tell them to do one thing and I'm not doing it.
Watching, that they watching for sure, and they're gonna call you on it.
And they're definitely gonna call you on it. So men, dads, I'm telling you, please make it a point. So you may not feel anything right now, and you think that nothing is costing you, but it's gonna cost you later when you leave this earth and you're leaving that pain in your family to be able to carry for generations, just because that you felt that it wasn't important enough for you to tackle your health, because you may not feel anything now, but it's going to end up costing not only you, but it's going to end up costing them more in the long run. So fellas, please make it a point, man, to really take care of your health, man. Take it one day at a time. Focus on one thing at a time. And once you're able to, to continue to build, habits and the consistency, I can guarantee you're going to feel a whole lot better. And this is why I feel that exercise is important, because it got me out of depression. It got me to be where I'm at today. And I don't think that I would be if it wasn't for exercise, and how that it really changes you. So fellas, really make it a point to take care of your health, please, especially with us black men.
Man, ain't no more to say, man. Y'all heard it here first, man. I'm here with Coach Larry of DUBb Fitness, right in Lodi, down the street from Sacramento, around from Stockton, right down the way, man. Tap in with the gentleman or hit me when we drop the episode. I'm putting all the socials on there. You guys can DM me, DM him, comments, questions, or whatever you need from him. Link up with him, try to get some work, some training, because he's ready, man. I'm about to slide down there, man. I'm gonna get a couple sessions in, man.
Sure.
We create some content too for the people.
Yep. And I'm gonna let you guys know, the gym is hype. That's no smoke. So you walk into our doors at DUBb Fitness, it is lit. That's why they call us Club DUBb for a reason. Okay. And we get it popping in there. So the music is loud, but we're also helping people to become the best version of themselves. So I know that you get involved in our program, we can help you to become the best version of yourself, to show you what you're capable of, to show you